A lot's going to have to go right for the Suns in order for them to shock the NBA, but we're about to explain to you the biggest positive difference for the Suns this season compared to last. It's Eric Ruby, Stephen Prejean Garner, Trending Edition Mini-Pod on PHNX Suns. As always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way in helping keep the lights on and supporting this channel. If you're listening on audio, 5-star reviews, well, they do the exact same thing. Best part about all that, Stephen, it's free. All of it. You're not charged for it. F-R-E-E, but we are H-E-R-E right today so that we can talk about this coaching staff. Now, Stephen, you and I, along with Gerald, talked about this on one of our previous live shows about how the Suns have revealed Jordan Ott's coaching staff. Obviously, he is the head coach, adding Jesse Mermis there as the basically first chair assistant coach, then Damari Carroll, Brian Randall, Chasen Allen, John Little, Mike Muscala, and Sean Dwyer. Then earlier today, Mike A. Scotto reporting that former Magic and Hornets head coach Steve Clifford will be added as a coaching advisor. And I think one of the main things that when we're looking at this coaching staff and what we've heard about Jordan Ott, what we've heard about Mermis, what we've heard from Damari Carroll when he was coaching the Summer League team, is that there's going to be an innovative attention to detail that felt like, we weren't in the rooms, but it felt like it was distinctly missing from the coaching side of things last year for the Suns.
I mean, we could say it felt like it, but I could also talk about on the film what we all literally saw.
It was bad. It was bad.
And what I know people were arms in the air about XYZ and ABC last season.
Dude, ABC made me so mad.
I know.
Don't even get me started on XYZ.
Especially C. But to the point though, looking at what was going on the film, because I tried to I knew there was a lot of stuff you could talk about last season. I tried to keep the on the court stuff pretty much prioritized, because a lot of the stuff that was on the court is where the off the court stuff derived from.
Yeah.
On the court, you talk about wanting to be at a certain level defensively for the offense that they were hoping to play to have the impact that it needed to. Couldn't stay in front of the ball, and I start there because scheme-wise, there is no scheme if you can't stay in front of the ball. Just like in football, if you want to have an offense, your exchange from the center to the quarterback for passes or runs, if that's not clean, everything else doesn't even matter. You can't run a play without it. Same thing inversely on defense. No scheme for no defense on containing the ball. Get from that point to the next points, the principles were just not clearly established, and there was just a lack of accountability, if we're being transparent, because guys were getting away with doing certain things to where they became habits. One habit turned into another, and that turns into a team that was one of the absolute worst in the NBA and the absolute worst in the half court last season.
Yeah, and with this roster, there is no room for that. And I think that, Matt Ishbia, Brian Gregory, this front office, I think they learned and they saw, because it was blatant, right? And especially if you're watching every game like we are, or if you own the team, right, and you're personally invested in the success, you see these things that are missing, right? And they're missing when you have Devin Booker, who is one of the best players in the NBA currently, top 15-ish, maybe a little bit better than that by our estimation, right? Kevin Durant, top 10 player of all time, in my opinion, probably the greatest scorer of all time. If not, he's a top 2, top 3 scorer of all time, right? Bradley Beal, we don't need to talk about Bradley Beal, right? But there was a lot of talent on this team, and there was a big opportunity. This was a team that was picked to go to the finals, a team to pick top 3, top 4 in the West. And, when they hired Mike Budenholzer and they brought him in, there was this idealist perspective of, hey, this is a guy that won a championship, and all the things that you just mentioned weren't there, he was supposed to bring. It was supposed to be better than Frank Vogel, who found a way to get a top 15 defense out of this squad, including Yusuf Nurkic the year before, but the offense was just terrible. There's so much about this coaching staff that is unknown, and I want to also acknowledge that. Jordan Ott has never been a head coach before, right? If I go on the street and I ask somebody what their opinion of Jesse Mermis is, they would not know. If I ask their opinion of Damari Carroll, they would say, who do you sign with? Vetman? Right? We don't know about the actual results as far as what this coaching staff will do to a great degree, right? There are no head coaches on this roster, and we'll get to Steve Clifford in a second. But hearing Kenny Atkinson, when I talked to him at Summer League, speak about Jordan Ott, right? Hearing Brian Gregory, Matt Ishbia, players like Ryan Dunn and Oso Ighodaro talk about Jordan Ott, right? When Shane Young was on the program, Donovan Mitchell, he had a quote from him about Jordan Ott, about how he's always staying ahead of the game, especially when it comes to scheming offense, and he's not reactive, he's proactive, right? And allowing a young head coach to go out there and to build the staff the way that he wants it, right? With modern, young influences, guys that played in the game, a G League head coach in John Little, and, from all accounts from Jesse Mermis in Orlando, was a highly respected voice over there as well. I know that it's hard to say this in August, and that the same way that we can project how rosters and players will play mean nothing right now, it depends on how they actually do. Mm-hmm. Is it asinine for me to say that I am 10 times more comfortable about the approach to coaching and game that I think this staff will bring compared to last year in Phoenix?
Not at all. And I say this respectfully, but the bar is the floor right now.
Yeah.
So even if they do 5% better than what last season's coaching staff did, I don't think it's going to be anywhere even close to that. I think they're going to far exceed that 5% better than what last season did. But even if it was just that, that's a major step in the right direction, because there's a level of stability that has to come with that. And I feel like one of the biggest things that we're going to see from this group as a foundation, and I mean foundation, I mean a part of their true identity, the preparation dynamic of it all. Mm-hmm. Knowing what opponents are going to want to do, knowing what you have baked into your process that you can naturally take away, adding other things to your process to take away things respective to each opponent, and rinse and repeat across 82 games across the regular season. And wherever that takes you, it takes you. But that preparation dynamic in tandem with the evolution, evolved approach to philosophies, offensively, defensively, thinking outside the box, thinking in a completely different shape in respect to how you're approaching the game. Those things were not advantages for the Suns each of the last two seasons. I think that the preparation and the thinking outside the box dynamic will be something that really helps to expedite the learning curve and kind of make this new coaching staff feel like one that's been around for a little bit longer.
Well, in order for the Suns to shock people, right, who do have these low expectations, and I think they're earned low expectations, right? They're going to need Jordan Ott and the staff to get the most out of people. When we've done our individual player breakdowns on our 3 p.m. shows, or when you've done it on your film sessions or whatever it is, we talk about how do you get the most out of Jalen Green? Well, it's up to Jordan Ott to put him in the best position, right? Oh, well, what about Kaman Malawach? What about Mark Williams? What about Devin Booker? What about Colin Gillespie? Ryan Dunn? Oso Ighodaro? Every single player that we have broken down and that we have dove into, it is, well, Jordan Ott needs to find the best way to use him, because that's just not what was happening last year, right? And that's why the whole Jalen Green, Devin Booker point guard debate was interesting. And how are you going to really employ that? Are you going to follow what the eye test and the statistics tell you, or are you going to go off path, right, and do something that people usually wouldn't choose to do given the evidence that you've had in the NBA, right? Yeah. In order for the Suns to be better than people they expect, in order for the Suns to be better than maybe what they expect, they need this coaching hire and this coaching staff to hit. And they added an addition on the margins, one might say. Earlier today, according to Mike Scotto over at Hoops Hype, former head coach Steve Clifford, who has 20-plus years of coaching experience in the NBA, is a coaching advisor. Now, we mentioned on our live show the other day, Steven, that, this staff was missing a former head coach. And now they technically have one, but not in a way where it feels like he's kind of staring over Jordan Ott's shoulder trying to get back in the game. Like, this really does feel like I'm here for you. I am not here to replace you type of thing.
Yeah, it feels very organic. And the relationship that I had that pre-existed their time that's now going to take place here in Phoenix, the respect, the reverence level that comes with having that pre-existing relationship as well. I think all of those things matter in multiple capacities. This speaks to a difference from what was last season, where you got Bud that's in place halfway through the season. For some people, sooner than halfway. People are calling for Fizz to be taking his place. Whether they say it or not, those things are felt in some capacity.
100%.
The heat gets turned up just a little bit on that front. It feels very much like Jordan Ott is being extended a runway that maybe Mike Budenholzer definitely didn't deserve for the performance last season, but never really felt like he quite had because of Fizz being there, existing from the previous regime. So I think little things like that certainly matter, and I think they also speak to generally the lens that the Suns are assessing this new brain trust that's led by Jordan Ott from more than anything else.
At the end of the day, the results are going to speak for themselves. And I don't even think you can fully judge based off of this year and wins and losses and individual statistics, but more from what we do, which is actually watch the game, do pregame, postgame shows, all the coverage that we have right here on PHNX Sports. It might be the middle of August, but we are still the best place to get your Suns news, breakdowns, forward-thinking thought, and everything right here on PHNX Sports live shows 5 days a week leading up to the season, Monday through Friday at 3, trending mini pods like this in your audio and video feed, Steven's film breakdowns on your video feed. If you are listening on audio, we have a very special hour-plus long conversation exclusive to you coming out this weekend, so keep your eyes out or ears out for that. And of course, always on social, you can follow us at PHNX_Suns. You can follow Steven at StevenPG3. That's Steven with a PH because he balances us out. And in this case, he balances me out. You can follow me at ERIKRUBY. And as always, shout out to the Freckled Mamba at Freckled Mamba, helping us out behind the Mac, making all of the magic happen. We will be talking more about this coaching staff, these players, the actual basketball of it all, and so much more right here on PHNX Sports. Don't go anywhere.
We all silly like the mayor.